Hey guys, Archie Luxury on the Archie Luxury channel. And I want to talk to you about having a relationship with your Rolex AD. And I gotta tell you, I do have a few associates, friends, people I know who have established a relationship with an authorized Rolex dealer. And I gotta be totally honest with you, it's a very tricky thing. Now, a bit of full disclosure is that, how do I put this? A lot of people who tell me stories about things they have picked up from dealers, how do I say this? They bullshit. They exaggerate what they get. They exaggerate the turds. They downplay the turds they had to buy. They make it seem easy. And I gotta be totally honest with you. Whenever I hear a story, whether it's a friend, a foe, or an associate who tells me they just got the AD's call, I'm a little bit skeptical. And I gotta be careful with the bullshit. I gotta be a little bit careful with how much bullshit I suck in one day. And a lot of people, they like to fib to me. They kind of, in the 80s, you used to bullshit about how much your house is worth. You know them. You go to a barbecue and their house is worth a fortune, but your house is a piece of shit. You know these sort of people. Well, there's no different today. Now they talk about the watches the AD offers them. And in all fairness, one thing I have noticed is that if you want to have a relationship with an AD, you want to have the relationship, you've really got to spend a lot of coin. And I got to say this to you, you've got to be a flipper. You got to be a flipper. Because the numbers that you'd be expected to buy just is not possible for the lay person to fulfill without on-passing these watches. And I've got a few close friends. I'm always skeptical of the bullshit that comes out of their mouth. It seems to be, they always brag in, I got the call on this, I got the call on that. And part of me doesn't really give a shit, but part of me says, I don't really trust you. And a lot of these people, they can't even see the bullshit for the trees. I had a good friend of mine who has a relationship with one of the ADs in Australia, and he told me, Arch, I just got the call. I got a Yachtmaster. And I said, oh, well, that's great. Steel Yachtmaster. Good. 40 mil steel Yachtmaster. But what he didn't quite tell me straight away was that he goes, and I also got a his and hers, the 37 mil. And I got to be honest with you, they kind of do still package things. Like, they sold him the Yachtmaster because he picked up the softer model. And that's kind of what you got to get used to. I got to tell you, a good friend of mine, the Bear Clooney, he gets offered pieces at the AD, and I've got to be honest with you, if you want to get Steel Sports Rolex from an AD. If you want to be on the call, I've got to tell you, you've got to buy somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million. Okay, that's what they're looking at as a current spend. So if you are looking at creating a relationship with an AD, don't think you can just waltz in there and buy a few tutors, buy the odd Breitling, buy the odd Pam, and off you go. They're going to be offering you Pepsi Rolex GMTs. No. It doesn't quite work like that. You've really got to spend. That they want somebody who has spent already somewhere between $500,000 and $1 million. So what that means, okay, so $1 million spend within the past couple of years, okay, that's kind of what they're looking at. The last maximum 5 years. 3 to 4 years, that's what they really want that spend within. You've got to be a sort of a flipper, because to spend $1 million on watches, what sort of salary, what sort of pool of money do you have? It's not really somebody who works for KBR earning 70 grand a year. They're not going to really. If they're lucky, they might buy one Steel Sports watch a year. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it, I'm afraid. They want somebody who's earning big bucks. And the other side of that is, if you can't earn, I mean, let's be totally honest there. Once you start to earn $250,000, 300,000, it gets really hard to make $500,000 unless you're in something like medical. Mind you, then you've got expenses, high expenses. But the reality is, what seems to happen is, once you get into that big sort of spend, you got to flip. You cannot possibly keep everything you buy. You buy occasion. You've got to be able to flip, and you gotta flip discreetly. That is the key word. You've got to be discreet how you flip. And the ADs themselves there, they know how the business works. They just don't want somebody who's an amateur flipper. They want a professional flipper. So I gotta be totally honest with you. $500,000 to $1 million spend, and you're not flipping? My God, how much money do you have? So you've really, to make those numbers, you've got to be a bit of a flipper. You have to flip. You cannot possibly, if you are on salary and wages, or even if you've got your own business, you're making $250,000 a year. How can you possibly buy $1 million worth of stock and just hold on to it? No, it doesn't work that way. Now, they don't care if you flip, as long as you do it discreetly. Discreetly meaning you don't really want it on the Facebook forums. That'd be one of the most silly places to be, the Facebook forums. Actually, funny thing is, I know somebody who just got the call in Sydney who had an IWC, a special perpetual calendar, and the dealer didn't take too kindly to the fact that they put it on a Facebook forum. But you know what? I think some of these dealers are kind of full of shit. I mean, at the end of the day, does it matter? I mean, an IWC? Come on, that can't be that special. So you've got to really be a bit of a hypocrite. Okay, you really have to be a hypocrite. You can't just. This is why watches get narcissists in there, because the narcissist, he might be a flipper, but he speaks badly about all these flippers. And the reality is, he's a flipper himself. So you've just got to take that on board. You really do have to take that on board. So if you want to have an AD relationship, to get the things like a Steel Panda, to get things like a Pepsi, a Cermet, things like that, you've got to have $500,000 to $1 million spend. That's not even meteorite dial GMT level. You've got to have a lot more spend than that. And the dealers, they don't get many of those. So just remember that. Remember that. Keep that in mind, guys. And let's be honest there. A lot of times when people tell me stories, they bullshit. They bullshit. They always tell me how they didn't have to buy too much garbage to get this. And yeah, so if you're on, you know, sub 100,000 a year, how are you going to build up $1 million spend and not flip? That's what I would like to know. So if you think you can easily go in it, think again. I'm ArchieLuxury. I hope you've enjoyed this video today. Please like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and I will see you in the next one. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury on the YouTube sensation, the Paul Pluta channel. Guys, I need you to help me out, guys. I can't survive on Google Ads alone. I need you to request a paid review. $50 US, look down in the description. $50 US, I will review your collection. I'll tell you what I think of it, and I'll give you some pointers. The other thing is, guys, you can sponsor me on Patreon. Patreon allows you to pay a couple bucks a month, $1, $2, $5, whatever you want, and it keeps me going on YouTube. Because, guys, I'm in a niche. Nobody can make money out of the views I get. The views are crap because it's a small, specialized area, and I don't talk about garbage for the sake of views. Guys, sponsor me on Patreon. Look down below, and I will see you in the next one.